Hi all. So a while ago on YouTube, I stumbled down a wormhole of small kitchen appliance reviews. As I was looking to buy an air fryer and perhaps maybe a pressure cooker, that's when I stumbled across one of the worst YouTube chefs of all time. His name is Jack Scalfani, as I like to call him, Jack Salmonella Scalfani. I watch video after video of him butcher, sometimes quite literally, recipes. Imagine driving slowly past a multi-car pileup on the interstate. That's my face as I watched him teach the internet how to make partially cooked meals of varying types and taking awful and unneeded shortcuts to recipes that are already quick to prepare. The absolute horror of Jack's lazy man chefing, air quote, techniques to my boyfriend Tom. And now, since we can't unsee it, we are opening your eyes to it as well. I'm Michelle, and I welcome you to join us for this horrific journey, better known as Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man. Welcome back to Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Oh, but you did, Jack. Oh, but you did. That's right, folks. We are back. This is our second recent video. This one, Jack's going out into weird territory here. He's been threatening on his live chats to have a gamer food episode, and everybody's been curious as to what could he mean by that. Is he just going to get pizza rolls, nuke them, and be like, look, I made pizza rolls. Yeah.
I'd actually almost respect that more.
Yeah, really. Well, he does dance with that in this episode. He shows you food that you would normally buy for that with his little Hebrew National Franks in a blanket, but he's like, no, we're going to cook healthier for the kids. So we get a double dose here. Not only does Jack not know what gamers eat, but he also thinks what he makes here is somewhat in any way healthy, which is hysterical.
The other teaser was that it's a sponsored video.
Yeah.
And it's sponsored by a game which I've never heard of.
World of Warships.
Which he keeps sounding like he wants to say World of Warcraft, and he keeps referring to it as WoW.
World of Warships is an interesting game because when you think about World War I and World War II United States naval vessels, you think like a starship. All those ships in Star Trek were based off of naval combat ideas, which means you need a whole crew to run it. But World of Warships basically takes all the controls and the firing mechanisms of a warship and turns it into a single player experience. One player can crew the whole ship. It puts the game in a very weird genre because it's an action game, but you have to control, there's lots of little controls you have to have in it, but it's not a simulator because they have to make the controls easy to use. So it kind of hovers in that weird space. It's an interesting game genre, and I'm not sure if it's a downloadable single player game or if it's supposed to be persistent online that you can basically deathmatch with other warships. I know there's some upgradability. They use a system they call doubloons for their money in it. I guess you can pay to upgrade, so it's like a freemium model.
I just don't see Jack with his one arm being any good at gaming at this point in his life.
Especially a game like this. This is a PC game, so you're going to have to use keyboard and mouse. So the mouse is basically going to be to aim the turrets because that's how a destroyer works. The turrets would have to be moved by the mouse and the scroll wheel to elevate the turrets. But then all your controls for the inside, how fast the ship is going and how you steer it, are going to be done with the arrow keys and the keyboard. How's Jack doing that?
Maybe he has Tammy working the keyboard while he works the mouse.
Oh my. He definitely works the mouse in this episode. There are some
phallic gestures going on.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely one of the more confusing Jack videos that we've seen in some time.
Yeah, I called him out 2 episodes ago for holding that olive oil bottle right in the center of his body at waist level. I'm like, oh, so it hangs to the right a little bit. I see. But this video takes that to the nth level. This video, you're like, oh, okay, he's shaking the tip off his nuts.
And he's not making that part up. That actually happened.
That actually happened. Spoiler alert, folks. So let's ready to jump into the video. Synchronize your YouTubulators, folks. We are hitting play in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And this is a 12-minute and 45-second long video. Most of the time is eaten up by the game preview that he shows at the beginning of the video.
Which also, it's not clear if this is a sponsorship or if he just himself signed up for affiliate marketing with the game. So, a sponsorship means he gets paid up front. Hey, Jack, we love your show. Here's $5,000. Talk about our product. An affiliate marketing scheme is basically he just advertises it. He signs up with the company. They give him a code. And if you sign up based off his affiliate link, then at some point in the future, he gets money. So it's 2 different concepts here. So when he says sponsorship, that's a very specific type of advertising. And it's not clear that that's actually the arrangement here.
The other thing too is, are you allowed to use this in your video?
They probably have this available. This is
okay.
When you sign up as an affiliate, they probably have an asset pack you can get. You get the logo, you get the video. Because again, you're doing the company's advertising for them.
Okay.
So they don't have to pay for advertising. You're the influencer. You're showing off this and you're saying, hey guys, use this code. The code isn't specifically for him. Like when you watch Linus Tech Tips, who does a lot of sponsorships, you'll see the code is like, and use offer code Linus. Or Sam the Cooking Guy is like, use offer code Cooking Guy. Or Babish is like, use offer code Babish. This is just a generic link. This is just a generic offer code, like spring 10% or whatever.
So we're back to the kitchen after all that.
And I guess because he's going with a nautical theme here, so the video is kind of tinted blue and his camera's off center. So his camera looks like he's on a ship's galley and the ship is in some rough seas because the camera's not level.
So the lazy man noticed he's back to wearing his purple Cooking with Jack shirt. There's either a stain on it in the center or he's sweating right there. Like something's going on with his shirt.
Something splashed on him. Now, he's done two very grease-heavy episodes. So he had Ultimate Hot Dog and he had Ultimate Fried Bologna Sandwich. So that's some kind of meat grease. This is an extended video because he has several different ideas for gamer food. But remember, his whole concept of gamer food is don't get your hands dirty because you don't want to take that 5 or 10 seconds to wipe your hands because you're in the game. He's kind of like saying, since you can't have like a hamster bottle of liquid protein shake hanging in front of your gaming battle station, the next best thing you can do is fill a cup up with salty nuts and dump it in your mouth. By the way, he's encouraging parents to do this for their children. If they're young children, it's a choking hazard.
Harry's stroking the glass.
Oh yeah, he puts it right in the center of mass there, and he's right at his waist level, and he's stroking the up and down of that glass. Golly, I hope nobody memes that.
The thing of nuts looks like an entire smaller containers of canned nuts.
Oh yeah, it's a 16-ounce glass. Maybe it's a 20-ounce glass, because that looks like a bigger tumbler than a pint.
Now he's going on and on about toothpicks. Oh god, the toothpicks.
He's got issues with toothpicks.
So the next
you gotta use cooking toothpicks and serving toothpicks, and
he just doesn't understand how toothpicks work. And these toothpicks are double size of what I would normally expect to see. So he uses the toothpicks in the next two gamer food ideas that he has here. The first one he has are
he's gussying up frozen store-bought meatballs.
Yeah.
Now again, you have a cooking channel. If you have a cooking channel, you want to show us recipes for things you make from scratch. Now, I understand it might be a little bit difficult. Obviously, only Babish. If Babish is making a dish with prosciutto, Babish will smoke his own prosciutto. He will make his own cheese. But for this, you're making meatballs. It's ground meat. You're not even grinding your own meat. Just buy the meat and form it into balls, man.
Yeah.
Because then you get to control the seasoning. This is like, well, I bought pre-cooked frozen meatballs and now I'm going to just sauce it.
And he says that they're defrosted. He has them in one bowl, then dumps them in another. I don't understand what the point of this was.
Well, this is the showcase bowl, and then he needs a mixing bowl.
Okay.
So why not start with the mixing bowl?
Right.
The world may never know.
We dump them in the larger bowl, and then the Kentucky Yaki sauce makes a comeback here.
This is also one of the reasons we didn't feel the need to review the whole sauces episode. Because again, he buys them, he pretends they're sponsoring him, they're not, and then he's just going to use them in more and more episodes. Like he did the Cajun rub and whatever he bought from the Amish. He's been dining out on that for a whole year now.
He dumps the teriyaki, I guess it's bourbon teriyaki sauce or something, over the meatballs, and then puts what he says are crushed red pepper flakes, but it looks like chili powder again.
He mentioned this in a couple of episodes, and it's way too much, of course. He's going to burn his mouth with all that hot red pepper. It sounds like what he did was he took the crushed red pepper flake and ran it through either a coffee grinder or like one of those little spice grinder things. It sounds like he ground up the crushed red pepper. So now this is like red pepper powder.
And he mixes it up with his hand rather than using a spoon or any type of utensil.
Right.
So then his hands were all dirty. I guess he's washed them now. I can't really tell.
Oh yeah, he mentions that in the episode, what a chore it was for how many times he had to wash his hands for the preparation of this episode. In this time of COVID-19, is washing your hands that much of a chore? Should be doing a lot of it anyway, but especially because you're making a cooking video.
He breaks out the silicone placemat for the cookies, which is like, I guess if you're a complete idiot and you don't know how to place cookies properly on a baking sheet, this kind of gives you a guide. He's like, okay, I'm gonna put the meatballs in these it's
the training wheels baking sheet.
So he goes and takes a minute and does that, and he still does it wrong.
You should use the spacing template of the cookie sheet, of the silicone baking sheet for cookies to align the balls. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 columns of balls. None of them are aligned. None of them are aligned.
Yeah, they're not aligned evenly anyway. There's no rhyme or reason to what he's done.
I was like, why are there big drips of sauce? He dumped the whole bowl on there rather than fishing them out with a fork.
Right.
He just dumped it and spaced them. Now comes
they end up burning at the end.
All that sauce on the silicone baking plate burns out. It's just big black clumps on there.
This is the most confusing, I think, of the whole gamer air quote foods.
for several reasons. Number one, what kid? Like when you say gamer food, obviously you're talking about young people, hopefully. You know, if he's feeding 50-year-old man children, giving them recipe ideas, they're too far gone. They're ordering Taco Bell. If they're sitting there playing hours and hours of video games, yeah, they're not cooking for themselves. They're Grubhubbing Taco Bell. You know they are. Or pounding Doritos chips.
Yeah, when I think of gamer foods, I think of like Pizza Bite, maybe Hot Pockets, something handheld, something easily grabbable with a hand. And I know those aren't healthy.
I was going to say, but remember Jack said that those have too much carbs in them.
Right.
Because he's leaning keto. Or he says, I'm leaning more on the keto side. So basically Jack just said, I'm leaning more on. That's what I heard.
So he did...
So he oils and seasons Brussels sprouts that he got frozen out of a bag because he says, I was going to go to the farmer's market and get the big fresh Brussels sprouts, the one that actually look like mini cabbages, but I didn't. Jack, it's a show. You're editing the show. You're recording it and editing it at a later time.
So they're smaller than what I guess the normal fresh size ones are.
Right.
But he takes an entire piece of bacon and wraps it around one single...
And poorly wrapped, by the way.
Brussels sprout.
Yeah, look at the folds of bacon. Like the meaty folds of bacon.
He could have cut it in thirds and wrapped half of the bowl in them if you really wanted to do this.
That's honestly what I thought he had going on there. I just thought we didn't see the cuts, but no. So he has 14 little Brussels sprouts and 14, by what he just did, 14 whole slices of bacon.
Around each one.
This is what he's saying. He's like, oh, this is what me and Jack Jr. are going to eat. You know he's going to eat these. You know Jack Jr. is not going to eat Brussels sprouts wrapped in bacon. He's doing this for himself. So that's 14 slices of bacon he's planning on eating.
And he wrapped them like, what, 5 or 6 times around each Brussels sprout?
Oh, yeah, because they're huge.
Because then the bacon's not going to cook through.
Right. Now, here comes another confusing part of the episode at 9 minutes and 15 seconds. And he's like, oh, this is what we should be making. This is what we should be making. The Hebrew National beef franks in a puff pastry blanket. He's like, this is what you probably should make. Because again, all of this is basically appetizer finger food. You're just having something there to mindlessly gnaw on as you play your video games for hours on end.
He could have taken hot dogs, cut them down the middle, and then made those like, you wrap them up in like the dough.
Or those little tiny sausages.
Yeah.
If you think about the better YouTube cooks, what they would do with an idea like this compared to what Jack does, it's awful.
So the meatballs come out and they're mangled, like they come out.
Well, they're swimming
together.
in grease.
Yeah, like,
because he dumped the sauce on there. You see all the burnt, all the burnt blobs of sauce laying on the silicone.
And then he cuts into a meatball and is like, "Yep, looks like it's done."
You can tell that's a frozen, pre-cooked meatball because of the sponginess. That's all like pre-processed, meat. And if you think ground meat itself is overly processed, the pre-processed meatballs are it's basically hot dog in ball form.
Those frozen meatballs are fully cooked. That's what it says on the bag.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean...
He's reheating. He's not... This is reheating.
He's like Jack. Surprised that they're fully cooked. Like, they are fully cooked.
If you notice in the back there, he still has those Hebrew National hot dogs in a blanket
He's going to make them. He's totally making them when the camera's off.
Oh, yeah. He's eating all of this.
Yeah. They came out perfect, and he's...
Now, remember, he's planning on eating 14 slices of bacon. Oh, and some Brussels sprouts are in the way there. But the 14 slices of bacon, plus we looked up the nutritional facts on those Hebrew National hot dogs. One serving of those, which is 5 little franks. There's 32 franks in the box. 5 of those little pigs in a blanket have like 28% of your RDA of sodium. So 14 slices of bacon, plus he's going to eat at least 2 servings, probably the whole box. So he is getting like 7 days worth of salt in this one sitting to play a game.
So that's like a whole pound of bacon. 14 slices has to be a whole pound of bacon. So he's eating
or at least a half pound. Like, God.
I wonder what happened to the rest of the Brussels sprouts.
They didn't make it. I think he just filled the pan and he's like, well, nobody's going to eat these Brussels sprouts. I'm going to throw them out and just show the people at home what I have on this one pan.
The Brussels sprouts come out with like at least an inch of grease at the bottom of the tray. And it's nasty.
Well, he's going to save that bacon grease because that's what he cooks his hot dogs in. I just made myself sick thinking about that.
Yeah, maybe he filmed these out of order. Maybe that's the bacon grease he's using.
Oh, God, no.
Yes.
No, that bacon grease looked old. That bacon grease looked months old. When bacon grease goes from liquid back to fat, when it congeals it as a light color, then it oxidizes. So that's why it gets darker and darker. So that bacon grease he had to cook those hot dogs in, that was old grease. And don't get me wrong, I had a great Uncle Mike who was a terrific cook, and he had that. He had all the old Italian cooks have that. It was a coffee can, a metal coffee can they kept under the stove.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother had one of those,
their
too.
magic can of drippings.
Yeah.
Nobody should be showing anybody, future generations, that this is what you cook with. So yeah, these are Jack's 3 great ideas. A 20-ounce tumbler, a 20-ounce glass tumbler of nuts, high sodium content there. Pre-cooked store meatballs that he reheats in sauce he literally had laying around. It's leftover sauce from his fake sponsored sauce video. And then the Brussels sprouts, each one wrapped with 1 strip of bacon. This is his healthy gamer food. Imagine what he would have made if he was going to make an unhealthy gamer food.
Like I said, I think I'd rather him make the pizza pockets, the little weenies and the puff pastry. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'd expect if my mom was making me. God forbid I'm 50 years old.
Oh.
And living in her basement, apparently.
Well,
that's what I would expect. Like chicken nuggets, fries. Like
he lives in the basement of Tammy's esteem.
Wow.
I have a different conspiracy theory, because the going idea is that he's just doing this as an affiliate marketing. I think Jack might be telling us the truth here. I think World of Warships sponsored him, but not for the reason he thinks. Normally when you get a sponsorship, that means the company says, oh my God, like, you know, this guy has his finger on the pulse of our key demographic. Like, let's do this or that. I don't think this is that. I think this is like Nike or Adidas paying the guys who made bum fights to put the t-shirts on the bums before they fight. I think World of Warships knows what an awful spectacle Jack is, and I think it's just basically like, guys, how do we get in on an awful internet meme? Hey, let's do a sponsorship with one of those really crappy YouTube cooks. I think the only reason Jack got this sponsorship is that horrible British lady couldn't have a sponsorship. I think they just couldn't work out a deal, so I think they gave this to Jack. I think there's just some weird marketing calculus going on there.
Maybe he had to pitch ideas to them before they went on the sponsorship. All right, they're like, okay, give me your craziest ideas for gaming food, because like I don't understand how any of this, it's just so bizarre, it makes no sense.
Could you imagine the phone meeting he had to have, or the Zoom meeting he had to have? They're like, okay, Jack, yeah, I mean, we're pretty much all sure why you're here, right, Jack? And he's like, oh yeah, you want me to make like a video with like food for gamers? And they're like, no, we thought you were gonna make the party salad or the mayonnaise, but yes, tell us, Jack, what are your gamer food ideas? Okay, when I play games, I just sit there, I get a can of nuts, just salty mixed nuts, the salty one the better, and I pour it in a big beer glass, and I just sit there, and that's what I eat, because that way I don't have to take my hands off the joystick. And the gamer people, the sponsors were sitting there going, oh my God, that's horrifying, but kind of awesome. Yeah, please, Jack, more. Tell us more. Then I like to eat the Hebrew National hot dogs. Well,
like,
no, Jack, give us your idea. You tell us what you would do. Okay, sometimes Tammy buys like these giant bags of frozen pre-cooked meatballs. I would do that, but I put like sauce and like some red pepper flakes on them. And then, you know how you have to change out toothpicks when you make hors d'oeuvres, like a cooking toothpick and a serving toothpick? And they're like, no. But make sure you include that. Give us that too. And then, well, give us something else, Jack. What do you got? Well, I'm gonna make a little bagel pizza kind of. No, Jack. Give us that's too carby, Jack. You're leaning keto, man. You gotta. These are healthy gamers. You gotta tell us what else you got. Okay. What if I got like some Brussels sprouts and like I wrap them with bacon? Okay, like with one little strip. No, I mean just like a jelly roll. Just coat that Brussels sprout in layer after layer after layer of crunchy bacon. And you're just gonna cook these. You're not gonna put that on like a little rack so the bacon grease drains off of that. They're just gonna sit in their own little hot tub of their own bacon grease. Yeah. Oh yeah. Do that too, Jack. Yeah. Can you?
Oh my God.
Could you cook with some insects or something? Could you know, we really want to make this as popular a gaming food idea as possible. Oh, I got so many more ideas. You want to sponsor me for like a whole year? Yes, Jack, by all means. Write these ideas down, Jack. We want to have pitch meeting after pitch meeting. We want to hear your ideas. Any chance of that party salad? Oh yeah, that'll be the next one. Yes. Aunt Myrna's party salad. That's going to be the ultimate gamer food.
We have to turn it into a handheld, like put it in a cone or something.
Oh, those flat-bottomed kiddie cones you get in the box, like when you're trying to give your kids like a Sunday bar at home, like, or a sugar cone. Oh, a sugar cone, a waffle sugar cone full of Aunt Myrna's party salad with extra Jello, pineapple, and what the hell was in that? Kielbasa? Like what? Oh. Whatever that was. So we've gone off on a tangent. But yeah, this was Jack's gamer food video, about 4,500 views on it. It'll probably get up to now 5,000 or 6,000 because I think
it's gonna. This one's gonna go through the roof. This is like the ultimate, like, what in the hell is going on? like a lot of his other videos.
I think the good people of World of Warships know exactly what they're doing by putting him on as a sponsor. Or again, it's just Jack lying.
God only knows where we could go from here. I know we say this week after week, and yet he somehow finds a new way of amazing us for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, he's been frying a lot of deli meat. He's been making a lot of pan-fried stuff he probably shouldn't. I think we're gonna go back to Air Fryerville. I think he's staying away from the air fryers and the Instant Pot, because I think off-screen he had a conversation with Instant Pot, and they're like, yeah, you have the Ninja Foodie right in the back. No way, never again. Oh, and this one he made fun of Doritos. He's like, yeah, Doritos are so unhealthy. Nobody wants to eat those. It's like, mwah, kiss that Frito-Lay sponsorship goodbye, you moron. Like, he's the only guy who actively solicits sponsors for his show and badmouths other products as he's trying to solicit. Nobody's gonna take a chance on you unless you know what the World of Warship people knows, and that's that Jack is comedy gold.
Well, thank you for joining us on this very confusing episode of Pink Chicken and the Lazy Man.
Thank you, folks. Can't wait for the next one. Woo!